Israel is being criticized by several countries, including the United States, for its strikes in Qatar targeting Hamas leadership. What this means for the conflict's future remains to be seen. There's a lot of background and ongoing developments regarding the war in Gaza. Welcome to the Unbiased Press. Please make sure you like and subscribe. I'm Casey Carroll. Here are the facts. To understand the current war in Gaza, it helps to know some key events leading up to it. In 2005, Israel removed its settlers and military presence inside Gaza, but it retained control of borders, airspace, and maritime access. Hamas won the Palestinian legislative elections in 2006, which strained its relations with Fatah, the more moderate faction. In 2007, after violent clashes, Hamas took full control of Gaza from Fatah. After Hamas took over, Israel and Egypt imposed a blockade on Gaza, restricting movement of people and goods. Israel said this was necessary for security, while critics say it made life very difficult for inhabitants. Since then, there have been recurring rounds of violence, major ones in 2008 to 2009, 2012, 2014, and 2021. Civilian casualties and infrastructure damage has been the result of this violence. On October 7, 2023, Hamas launched a large-scale surprise attack on southern Israel. According to reports, about 1,200 Israelis were killed and 250 to 300 people were taken hostage. Israel responded with a major military campaign in Gaza, which included airstrikes, ground operations, and blockades. The declared objectives include degrading Hamas's military capacity, rescuing hostages, and preventing future attacks. This war has resulted in massive destruction of infrastructure, including homes, roads, hospitals, and schools. A large majority of Gaza's population has been forced to move, often multiple times. As of early 2025, about 1.9 to 2 million people, roughly 90% of Gaza's population, have been displaced at least once. As a result of this conflict, over 65,000 Palestinians have been killed, including many civilians. Additionally, there have been thousands of injuries, severe shortages of food, water, and medical supplies. A phased ceasefire and hostage prisoner exchange deal was negotiated, taking effect in January 2025. It involved multiple rounds of prisoner hostage exchanges. The ceasefire had limitations. Fighting and humanitarian access issues periodically resumed. The ceasefire ended with an offensive by Israel in March 2025. As of now, Israel has resumed or intensified operations in some areas, especially around Gaza City. A major planned offensive in mid-September was approved. There is famine in Gaza City and surrounding areas. Many people face severe food insecurity. Aid deliveries have often been disrupted. The movement of goods and people is heavily restricted. There have also been protests inside Gaza by civilians against Hamas's leadership, both over war fatigue and leadership decisions. Some hostages have been released in earlier exchanges, but others remain. The release and treatment of hostages remain central to negotiation efforts. There are several key challenges, including whether the ceasefire will hold or whether renewed fighting will continue. How to address reconstruction and humanitarian needs, especially given the scale of destruction. What governance of Gaza will look like after or if the conflict winds down. Questions of who governs, who rebuilds, and how to ensure security. The rights and protections of civilians under international law, accusations on both sides of violation of those rights remains an issue. In addition, access for humanitarian assistance and how to prevent famine and disease is also an issue. What will happen in this conflict remains to be seen. Thank you so much for listening today. Please make sure you like and subscribe. See you next time on the Unbiased Press.